Hello, my name is Mohsin. I'm here together with the two guys from NDL. We got sort of Rashid and also Jisan, the head of product development. And we're going to be going through the company profile and history of NDL, as well as future developments. So thank you so much for inviting me to do this talk, guys. It's very exciting.
All the slides hereafter is about our collection that we were planning to showcase in this Kingpins. But this is again a great opportunity, a great initiative by Andreola to have Kingpins 24. At least we're not missing out on anything. The message can be conveyed to a very big audience now. I feel this is a unique way of reaching out to much more bigger audience.
Anyway, so let's just begin. So you guys, obviously your company group started in 1971, but it was actually more around 2006 when you guys actually started developing into denim. Rashid, would you like to talk more about that briefly?
Yeah, thanks, Mohsin. Actually, the group has been in textile business for almost 3 generations, and our first denim mill was started in 2003 in Karachi, and 2006 is when NDL started. So the history goes back to 3 generations, and we have been into this gray business for many years. And then nets used to be our main business, and yes, 2006 is when we started off NDL.
You guys have been sort of focusing a lot on helping people and environment and technology, as well as women empowerment.
Naveena, NDL's real philosophy is we believe in the people, the environment, and the technology. Having said this, quality human resources, the main thing. I believe that whatever Naveena is and what makes us different is our people, the human resource, the Einsteins that we have hired, and coming up with crazy ideas day in, day out. So that's one of the cornerstones. That's one of the main things that we believe in. And going forward, we're going to have more women force in our company with 49% women population in Pakistan. I see there's a lot of resource that we can add into our strengths. So that's one thing. Of course, with human resource comes the innovative technologies, and that's what we strongly believe in. And that's the main part of Naveena NDL, that we keep on innovating new fabrics.
You guys are also founding members of BCI in Pakistan. Is there anything you want to add sort of that to that?
Yes, Mohsin, again, back in 2013 when we started talking about BCI cotton, I remember I attended a seminar in Colombo, Sri Lanka.
The milestones, guys, you guys have been working on, you must be very proud. Obviously, you've started fairly recently, but you've achieved so much. So do you guys want to touch on any of the milestones you're really proud of?
Yes, Mohsin, like you said, it's not been a very long time that we have been into this denim business, but we have achieved a lot in terms of having unique fabrics that are very exclusive to Naveena. We right now have a total of 3 million meters capacity per month. We have our own spinning, which is the main thing, which is gives us the opportunity of blending our own yarns. That is one of our main strengths right now.
Yeah, so you guys are experts in it, right? There's so many things you're doing because you're so vertical. So
we're trying to stay ahead of the competition. Honestly, I don't know if we're expert or not, but we're working on it, and I feel the team is getting better each day. Today in my collection, we have the softest fiber called Miyabi, produced by Mitsubishi in Japan, to the toughest fiber called Denim, produced in Netherlands. Denim is 15 times stronger than steel. Kind of versatile fibers and fabrics we have in our collection. Having said this, right from a very dumbed-down basic fabrics to a very high-end premium fabrics is what Naveena's collection is all about. We are very honored to have the G2 fabric finishing. We were the first ones in Pakistan 2 years ago, and when we started off with the ozone finished technology with Genealogia. We're extremely proud of what we did, because again, ozone finished fabric means 90% less water. That seminar was organized by all the big players like Mark Spencer, Adidas, and Levi, and all the big players, and educating us about best practices, best farming practices. And we were like, my God, how do we get this across down to the farmers? Because our farmers are not educated,
Yeah.
and back then, the real challenge was to have 5% blend in our cotton. So 5% blend was a big thing back in 2013. Now, in 2020,
Hmm.
you will not believe we now have a 20%, 100% blend in 2020, which means that in just about 7 years,
Yeah.
Pakistan has become the largest producer of BCI cotton in South Asia.
You guys work with some amazing big sort of companies as well, and obviously working with these sort of companies obviously like requires you to meet all their standards on social working, as well as how your factories operate. Are there and you operate in so many, in like 40 different countries you guys actually produce garments for, so which is quite remarkable. So anything you'd like to add here, really, guys? Or
Well, yes, I really would like to talk about the strength and the versatility in our lines.
yeah,
We have brands like Levi in our portfolio to customers like Engelbert Strauss, which is a workwear company. This basically tells uh, about our strength. So the basic idea of mentioning these names is that it's the strength of Naveena to be able to cater these customers.
and then obviously things that are in like progress as well. Obviously you guys do a lot of like recycling, and you got like ETP plants and solar power, energy.
The way the industry is moving, and being a responsible denim producer, I think it's our uh, personal initiative also, and a wish list from our top senior management as well,
Hmm.
to move towards zero liquid discharge. And obviously we have certain goals and plans in line. We want to make sure that we achieve zero liquid discharge by 2022, and for that, whatever is required for something like upgrading our ATV plants,
Yeah.
machinery, equipment, solar plants, whatever is required, the team is already working on that. So that's important.
And obviously the green practices you're doing are quite remarkable. Obviously you're doing a lot of stuff with like sort of BCI, which you just mentioned, but you're doing a lot of stuff also with your partners, like sort of like Gene Logia and like lensing. So yeah, anything you like to add here?
Naveena Denim is a standalone fabric mill,
Yeah,
which means it's very important for us to invest in R&D, in developments. And our fiber manufacturer partners have also realized this, and they acknowledge, and that's why whenever there is a new fiber in the market, they want to reach out to us to try and test. And that's what we are good at with
amazing.
the last 7, 8 years.
Mm.
The team is very passionate about using whatever is new in the market. We're talking about Refibra, which was a recycled fiber. We have been using that. We came up with advanced denim concept.
Mhm.
Archroma is again a very well-known Swiss-based company, and they came up with the sulfur-based dyes.
Yeah.
And we've been using those, and we have one of the largest collection of colored denims with sulfur dyes from
Amazing.
advanced denim concept.
Okay, and obviously, post-consumer waste. So sort of recently, like you guys have been investing quite heavily in this. Obviously, making sure you're meeting the like demand. Obviously, so many customers are going this way, where they're asking mills like you to please include PCW in some of our qualities. And the great thing is that you guys have actually like invested in a new like shredding machine, and this is only like a couple of years in, right?
Yes, Mohsen, as a customer expectation is getting increased day by day because everyone is looking for a sustainable product.
Mm.
So this is, I think, essential thing to have this kind of hardware in our facility to provide them as per their expectation, as per their requirement. So at the moment, the people are looking for pre-consumer waste or post-consumer waste.
Yeah.
Now we are in a position to offer these kind of products to our customers.
I'd like to add here one thing. I think pre-consumer waste, the industrial waste, is something very important, and that can come only from our own waste. That means the industrial waste.
Yeah.
Post-consumer waste has been there in the market for many, many years, but now we're talking about pre-consumer waste, which is, I feel, is more important to be able to use your own industrial waste, convert it into cotton, recycled cotton. So that is important for us, and now we are in a position to produce a recycled yarn with pre-consumer waste.
Well, CSR is a huge thing for you guys. Obviously, you're involved with the WWF and education with lots of schools. Is there anything, Rashid, you would like to add here?
we have some engagement with the WWF. We are now a gold membership with them. We are doing a lot of trainings under international law and environmental standards. A lot happening towards Water Saving Alliance for water stewardship. There is a trust called Mother God Trust where we have hired them to actually talk about the climate action project. It's a project called I Am a Climate Champion. Nice. And this seminar is going on, the session is going on with LUMS being one of the most well-known institute in Lahore. Mm-hmm. So these are some of the projects that we are doing. And other than that, the group is also running some schools, added the number of campuses. And there's a campus by in the name of Mrs. Nargis Riaz. Yeah. And there are more campuses coming in.
And then obviously, this is obviously the 2 schools and the campuses that sort of like you briefly touched on. So amazingly well, obviously, amazing attendance as well, and like the amount of kids that are involved in these programs.
It's always refreshing to see these smiling faces. Really, it just gives you so much life.
So let's talk about innovation now. So these are 3 stories that sort of like you guys have been working on, which you were hoping to present during like Kingpins, but this is your brushed, woolly story, soft story, and there's 3 concepts here that are really interesting. What the first one I've never heard of. So would you guys like to tell us more about it?
Yes, Mohsin, we have developed a range of the woman cozy denim. It's kind of fleecy denim. You know, you see the fleece where you can feel the more soft surface. So we have developed a warm denim with the different technologies, with the different kind of fibers as per the customer requirement. If we talk about the Miyabi, this is a Japanese fiber, which gives you soft hand feel as well as warmth feeling.
We are the only ones in this region who's using Miyabi in our denims, because this is a very exclusive fiber. It's controlled by Mitsubishi, and they want to make sure that, you know, there are very few selected mills who are doing this, and we being one of them, so we take a lot of pride in that.
If we talk about the True Touch is a technology by Unify where you feel cotton feel, but you can't feel like the plastic hand feel in a fabric. And of course, everyone knows about the Thermolite. This is by Investa. This is a basically heat retainer fiber which retain the warmth or heat in a fabric.
Let's move on. The next slide. Wow, this slide is really cool. Everyone does black denim or dark denim. What's different about this black denim?
We are always looking out for solutions for the designers who are struggling with different problems of shade wash downs. Yeah. Especially talking about the blacks, you must have noticed, you're a designer yourself, you must have noticed that every time you washed on a black, it turns brownsiness or dirty brownsy or red tone. Yeah. And this is something that is a problem for everyone. Everybody wants to get away from this. We somehow got lucky, and we have been working with different dye stuff manufacturers. So we ended up putting some dyes from Spain. This is a sulfur black, and what we noticed that, you know, the moment you wash it down, it goes towards the bluer tone.
And then we got the spiral soft as well. So obviously this is something that you guys have been developing. Obviously, you guys are master spinners. So obviously this is something that you've done at the spinning level. So this isn't chemical based or anything, any magic potion. It's pure spinning that you've achieved.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Like you said, our main strength for the denim has been our spinning, and spinning gives us a lot of advantage over our competitors, especially when it comes to developing our own yarns, blended yarns. And this particular development was done in order to achieve a hand feel without adding any chemical or fiber related composition. So what the idea was to have a permanent solution that stays in. We don't have to do any application or use any man-made fiber. So what we have done is worked on the spinning side to make sure that the fabric stays soft, as soft as so that, and no matter how many number of times you wash it down, the softness on the fabric stays. So
let's talk about hemp. So obviously you and I have been doing we did a presentation a few months ago about hemp, and it was really exciting. And from those conversations, you know, there's been a lot more development. You've actually become specialists in it, especially in your like sort of region. And you're experimenting now, but come October, you're going to be hopefully presenting quite a big collection on your hemp story. So using loads of those different yarns. Is there anything you'd like to add briefly before we go into the next slide?
Yes, Mohsen, Hemp Denim project is a very interesting project for Naveena. The team is extremely excited about the products that came out. It was a real experience for us to understand in terms of what challenges we had to face in producing the hemp denims. What we have done so far is we have used the cottonized hemp to be able to blend it with different fibers like tencel fibras, lycras, and polyester. So as the way today's denim is, you know, it's all about comfort, all about hand feel. So it's important to have the blending of hemp. And what we noticed was the hemp has came out as a cotton when it comes to hand feel,
Yeah.
although it's a harsh fiber. But there were a lot of challenges and a great experience while we were spinning it and dyeing it. So as we move along, I'll explain you what.
Okay. Well, just so we do a little bit of history, just as only like a minute or so, but just so everyone's up to the same speed. So hemp's been around for thousands of years. Obviously, it's known as like sort of like cannabis, like sort of sativa, and it's grown practically every sort of everywhere. And obviously, we've been using it as a yarn for at least like sort of like 3 to 4,000 years. But there's evidence that it goes back a lot more further than that. And what's amazing about hemp is you get most of the yarn from the actual stalk. So, you know, the whole plant doesn't get wasted at all. Every part of it gets used. And obviously the stalk part gets used for the hemp yarn itself. And the benefits that I've been researching is the benefit like between cotton and hemp is quite like remarkable, to the point where it only takes 3 to 4 months to grow versus 8 to 9 for cotton. It uses like, you know, 25% less water, or probably more. And the amazing thing is it grows practically everywhere. You don't need to have, cotton, you need to have fields where you grow food in, and hemp grows pretty much in any type of soil like environment, which is quite amazing. And then more stats here, which like people can actually pause and see. But, you know, you guys have been specialists in it, and you guys have basically been experimenting with the actual two different types of actually hemp. So there's obviously wet spun hemp. So just for everyone, wet spun hemp is the really older type of hemp, which has been around for thousands of years. And we get the newer cottonized hemp, which has came about in like the 80s. And cottonized hemp, from my understanding, is the one that you guys have been experimenting a lot more with, right?
Yes, Mohsen, the basic idea is to use such a material where we can have a less dependency on cotton actually.
Mohsen, assure you that there has been a number of trials done in hemp, and the experience has been wonderful, and I really would like to share that before we really get into the nitty-gritty of the product. Again, hemp being a harsh fiber, so we were not sure what kind of percentage of blend that we should start with. When we were in China, we were talking to spinners in China and about the blends, and I don't want to mention the names, but most of the spinners in China were doing a 25% hemp and 75% cotton. So nobody wanted to go beyond that. We started off with 40%, and then we wanted to immediately get into blending with the tencel and then lycras and whatever we could. As far as the spinning was there's unlike cotton, there is a lot of imperfections in hemp compared to cotton. And in the beginning, the spinner was very much concerned. He shared us the lab reports, and we were like, just go ahead and let's see what it's like. You know, let's see the lab,
yeah,
how it performs in the weaving and finishing. Let's see. You know, the whole team was very excited.
Yeah.
And when the first yarn was received, the dyeing was done, and we got some of the ropes just to see what the optics are like, just for our curiosity. For instance, if we did some trials on the running shades of indigos or bottoming or topping shades, we just wanted to see how the dye pickability has come out. And to our surprise, these imperfections has added to the dye pickability.
Yeah.
So that was very interesting. And we noticed that, as the fabric washes down, it gave a very unique, different optic, a bright optic. Likewise, it performed very well on the looms, and finishing was absolutely a breeze. So we had no problems making the fabric in the beginning. Yes, there were a lot of concerns with the imperfections, but those imperfections actually added to the beauty of the fabric in
They
terms of giving
enhanced it. Yeah.
authentic. Yeah.
They enhanced it.
Mohsin, as you are a lover of vintage denim, so
Yeah.
I would say if you want to have the real vintage denim, then you can have with the cottonized hemp, because cottonized hemp create a more uneven, more imperfection in a fabric.
Amazing. Anyway, I can't wait. Can't wait. So let me ask you some questions now. Obviously, it'll be really fun to find out your answers for these. So what challenges, guys, have you faced using hemp? Obviously, like, you're one of the first in your region to experiment with it.
It's not easy to have a more percentage of the hemp content in a fabric. Like, no customer wishes more and more, and
Right.
there is our limitation. We can mix a certain amount of hemp at the spinning stage. Now it's a challenge to have more and more percentage in a fabric. So we are finding a way how we can increase the hemp content in our fabrics.
How has it been using the old style wet spun versus the newer style?
Wet spun hemp gives you a very specific look. I mean, if you want to have more classy denim, then definitely you have to have used the cottonized hemp.
Okay.
And if I give you two piece of pair of jeans and I ask you, Mohsin, can you recognize where is a cottonized hemp and where is a cotton trouser? And hardly you will recognize, maybe due to some authentic character, but I would say this is the really cotton substitute.
Amazing. What surprises have you found using hemp? Obviously, we know it's anti sort of like bacterial. There's, we know it uses less water to grow. So these are some things that we've talked about. But is there anything else which has surprised you?
Yes, it's a just beginning, Mohsin. So we have to explore. It's like another planet we have to go. Amazing. So definitely this is antimicrobial. So we have to be tested and we have to send different labs to certify how much is antimicrobial and which kind of antimicrobe it's work against.
Yeah, this real surprise for the team was we use the plain yarns, but because of the imperfections, you could see the natural slubs in the finished fabric, which gave an authentic look. And then, of course, the imperfection and the dye pickability, the same shade, same pure indigo in cotton, 100% cotton versus the cottonized hemp, we could see a different wash down on the fabric. So that was a very surprising thing for us.
Hemp, it's quite expensive still, right? That's the main thing. So you're going to try and get more people to use it. Hopefully the price will come down.
I believe that, if more and more brands come towards hemp denims, the scale is going to obviously get bigger. And bigger the scale gets, I'm sure there'll be more harvesting done on hemp. And this is something that's going to drive the price down. And that's the only way that moving forward for the prices.
Then, what is next for him? That's the main thing. And obviously I'm very thankful because you guys very kindly sent me some fabric. There's a very small development that you did. Do you want to tell us more? Obviously, you're going to be showing this collection in October. But
yes, I just want to briefly talk about this again. I remember when we were researching about hemp and you came up with the work on history of hemp, and you said this was 5,000 years old. And that's when the idea came, and we were discussing that, if hemp was one of the oldest fiber and used for making fabrics, so what would be the garment would look like back then? So that's where the whole idea, the concept originated from. And then we started thinking about, what if we make 100% hemp? Although it was a very crazy idea, the engineers, Zishan including, thought that I'm crazy. And he said, there's no way you can weave 100% hemp, especially not.
I'm very thankful that you guys sent me something. You sent it to me this week, and I managed to experiment, and I made one pant for you, which was really, really fun. Obviously, we developed a canvas because obviously the earlier garments were canvases. They weren't twills at this sort of stage. And what I produced was really fun in the end. It has one pocket. It's got a cinch back. I did a one-piece fly for you as well. And I did the same as one of the early like Levi's garments. It's got the coin pocket, which is on top of the waistband, and it's all single needle. And it was amazing. I've got the leather patch right in the center back as well. And it was a real joy to make. And I really am thankful that I got to experiment. One of the first fabrics that you guys have done in the 100% category. And I'm very excited to see what you guys are going to do next.
I'm glad that you have. I'm glad you have done justice to this fabric. The garment has come out very, very good. It looks very cool. The only bad part is that I cannot feel it.
Yeah.
Sitting here,
No.
hands. But having said that, I'm sure we'll have this and many more fabrics with 100% hemp in our upcoming Kingpins in October. So. We'll have a wider range of 100% hemp in dyed form also. So we're excited about that line. And it's going to be with blended yarns also. So let's see how that line comes out, because that's still it was under production, but now everything's on hold because of this coronavirus thing. But
fingers crossed that's going to be fine. And what's great about doing this kind of development is you get to learn a lot more. So yes, you're developing the 100% stuff, but you're going to go down, you're going to take the learnings from that and put it into your other lines that are a lot more commercial as well. But thank you so much for your time. And guys, make sure if you've got any questions, just like email it to these guys at the bottom, and make sure you follow their Instagram as well. These guys have a really great Instagram account. And thank you so much for including me in your talk. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mohsen.
And thank you, everyone.